with coverage you can count on. This is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 6 in HD.
It is raining in parts of the Channel 3 viewing area right now. It's the first time this month. Thank you for joining us. I'm Greg Glover, and for David Carroll.
And I'm Cindy Sexton. Of course, we know the rain is not going to do much to put a dent in the drought, but we are covering what you need to know about the weather tonight.
Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Tanisha Cordell is live on standby in Chattanooga to cover the drought conditions. And meteorologist Nick Austin is live in the Storm Alert Center. Hey Nick, what do we need to know about the rain moving in tonight?
Well, what you need to know is it's going to get a little bit more likely after sunset that we'll see it moving into the Chattanooga area and some other parts of our viewing area. But right now, it's all north of the city and back to the west. And it's mostly in the high elevations where it's falling. Walton's Ridge, western parts of Hamilton County and up towards parts of the plateau. Pikeville has had about 1/10 of an inch. Just spoke to our sky watcher in Dunlap down in the valley, in Sequatchie Valley. He hasn't had hardly a drop, but in some of those higher elevations to the west and east of the Sequatchie River, there is at least some light rain falling. Heavier rain from Nashville down into parts of northern Alabama where there are some thunderstorms along with that heavy rain, and it's all moving to the north and east. Scottsboro about to get hit pretty hard in just a little bit. So some of that rain will be reaching here into the city, northwest Georgia, and eventually across the rest of the viewing area through the course of the evening, ending late tonight. I'll let you know about the much cooler weather heading our way for tomorrow and the weekend that's coming up in your 7-day forecast. But right now, we're going to go back out live to Tanisha Cordell to talk a little bit more about the weather and the fall foliage out there. Hey, Tanisha.
Hey, Nick. Well, yeah, so unfortunately, the fall colors throughout the Tennessee Valley may be short-lived, and that's partly due to this ongoing drought we've been talking about all week long, well, months actually. And, you know, the fall colors usually stick around for a month or so, starting now through the first week of November. Now, we tagged along with some folks on the Tennessee Aquarium's River Gorge Explorer to get their reaction on some of the colors we're seeing so far.
We try to do it this time of year so we can see the leaves and the color, but they haven't changed quite so much this year so far.
Jimmy Lee Hames lives in Cumming, Georgia, but is visiting the scenic city through her church's senior trip. She and about 50 others boarded the River Gorge Explorer to see what she says is her favorite, the fall colors. The boat tour carried passengers along the Tennessee River, where the colors up on the mountain are just starting to peak. A view Hames says she was hoping would be more vibrant.
I like more red into the trees, and so far there's not any red. It's kind of rust looking.
Local Leanne Milligan says she didn't expect much color at all.
I was actually surprised to see as much color as we are seeing, and I think it's very nice considering the drought that we have had.
An extreme drought that may cause a shortened, colorful season this year.
If we would have had timely rains in August and September, then the trees wouldn't be as stressed as they are right now because of this exceptional drought that we're experiencing.
But Tom Benson, a former meteorologist and the communication manager at the Tennessee Aquarium, says the wind also plays a part.
It's taking them off the limbs, which ones are already loose. And that's, kind of the process. They're going to change colors, and eventually those stems will let loose the branches and they fall. But when you have the wind, those stems are already weakened and ready to come down.
Another reason the colors we do see may not stick around for long. Well, guys, I'm starting to feel some raindrops out here now, but Channel 3 Storm Alert meteorologists tell me this rainfall won't make much of a difference in helping to keep these fall colors around, but it will definitely help in fighting this drought. Reporting live in Chattanooga, Tanisha Cordell, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
First report of raindrops. That's encouraging news. Thank you, Tanisha. Stay updated on drought conditions and foliage by downloading our WRCB weather app, free for Android and iPhone. A Dalton police officer hit a cyclist, and now the victim is listed in critical condition tonight.
The Georgia State Patrol says 54-year-old Ernest Cooper was hit in the intersection of Thornton Avenue and Kyler Streets just after 12:30 this morning. Officer Alexis Rittenhouse was not injured. She's on paid administrative leave. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Tim Pham was on the scene this morning and tells us where authorities are in their investigation.
Investigators spent nearly 5 hours reconstructing the crash scene early this morning after a police-involved accident in Dalton. A bicycle and a police cruiser sit on the back of a tow truck after a collision that severely injured a cyclist. Bruce Frazier with the Dalton Police Department believes the officer had a green light and the victim was crossing during a red light.
One of our officers was driving northbound on Thornton Avenue when someone on a bicycle crossed in front of the officer and the officer struck the bicyclist.
Investigators say the victim was thrown from his bike and has some broken bones as a result of the crash.
There was no need to come back in and reconstruct it later. They just went ahead and did all the imaging and everything to make sure they had all the evidence they needed to complete the investigation.
Though the accident happened in city limits, the Georgia State Patrol is leading the investigation because a Dalton police officer was involved.
We're not sure at this time, but we were able to view the video and it just appeared as a patrol speed. It didn't appear as if she was traveling at a fast rate of speed.
There were no witnesses to the crash, but investigators say they're reviewing dash cam video from the patrol car, and it does not appear the officer was responding to a call. The officer was not hurt and is expected to be okay.
The officer is a little bit shaken up, as you can imagine, physically unharmed, no injuries from the crash, but obviously that's something that will shake you up.
Investigators say the cyclist was not wearing a helmet or reflective gear. He's being treated at the Hamilton Medical Center for significant injuries.
Bicycles have to pertain to Georgia law still, vehicle law, and it would be running a red traffic light.
No one has been formally charged in the accident, but if GSP finds either person at fault, they could face charges. Right now, the officer is on paid administrative leave from the police department, which we're told is standard anytime there's an accident involving injury. Reporting in the studio, Tim Pham, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
And again, that bicyclist in critical condition tonight. So far this year, there have been 30 homicides in Chattanooga. Many of the recent deaths are women and young adults.
But an effort to stop the violence in the scenic city is underway right now. People are gathering at the Walnut Street Bridge to hold a peace rally. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Kelly McCarthy joins us live now to tell us about the effort. Kelly?
Cindy, the rain is not going to be scaring away this group of people here. This is a small grassroots effort. They came together here at the Walnut Street Bridge, all wearing white, for one common goal, and that is to stop the violence, stop the gun violence in our community, and to save lives of others. We just heard a powerful message from one mother who lost her son to gun violence 13 years ago, and she says, each year the pain doesn't go away. She's still grieving, and she's still dealing with those effects of the gun violence, and every day she's still missing her son. I met up earlier today with the organizer of this event, and she tells us why this is so important to the community.
And ultimately it got to the point where the pain was so much that turned and sparked a bit of outrage, and so now I'm turning that outrage and pain to action.
And this is a small gathering here today, but this group is hoping more people will learn about this organization, Let and Love Foundation, and they're going to be making some social media efforts in the future to get more people to join the cause. And I'm told they're going to be sharing all of those updates with us, but for now we have a small gathering here, but as they've been talking, people have been stopping by to listen, and they're just sharing their message of peace for the community. I'm Kelly McCarthy, live on the Walnut Street Bridge, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Kelly, thank you. One person was sent to the hospital this morning because of an industrial accident in Chattanooga. This happened at the Ken Garner manufacturing plant on 28th Street around 7:30. Company officials say a male employee was hurt and taken to Erlanger for treatment. He is expected to be released to return to work tomorrow. The company's investigating what happened.
Coming up on Eyewitness News at 6, the look on a Sequatchie County senior's face says it all when she finds out she's the homecoming queen.
Miss Hannah Murphy.
Hear from her classmates who made her dream come true and her dad who says she's always been a queen in his eyes. Stay with us.
Reports of a few raindrops in Chattanooga right now. Light showers further north, heavier rain back to the west. I'll let you know how much more rain to expect for tonight and if it's going to last into Friday and the weekend. Your 7-day forecast coming up in just a bit.
with coverage you can count on. This is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 6 in HD.
It was a homecoming like no other at Sequatchie County High School Friday night.
The crowning of the Queen is always a highlight, but it isn't often the whole crowd stands and cheers. Channel 3's David Carroll has more in tonight's School Patrol report.
Called a U-boat.
Hannah Murphy is a senior at Sequatchie County High who loves her fellow students and they love her. Never was that love more on display than Friday night. Hannah was in the homecoming court when the big announcement was made.
The Sequatchie County High School homecoming queen for 2016 is Miss Hannah Murphy.
Her reaction is only part of the story. Listen to the cheers from the crowd. We visited Hannah and her classmates to find out more about the life of a queen. It was a night she and her friends will never forget.
That's surprised.
You were surprised?
Yes,
But it was a good surprise.
it is.
And then I heard all the students going, Hannah, Hannah.
They cheered me up. I know they did. They cheered me up.
I think just her personality. She's really fun with everyone, and she can be sassy when she wants to be, but she's always precious and really nice to everybody, and I don't know, everyone just loves her.
So sweet.
Hannah's dad says he's not surprised by the love from her fellow students.
It gives me faith in the country, to be honest with you, especially since it's, a rural school. They really supported her. They've always supported her. She's been here since grade school, and she has always had friends around her and people that supported her. Never had an issue.
Many of these cheerleaders were also in the running for homecoming queen, but they led the campaign to select Hannah, and they have no regrets.
I don't think so. I think we were all just really excited for Hannah. She deserved it.
Yes, she definitely deserves it.
And life around the Murphy household really hasn't changed that much since Hannah started wearing the crown.
She has been called Queen Hannah for at least the last 4 or 5 years, and she actually picked the name, so.
And now she has the crown to show for it.
Yep.
Wonderful. Hannah has always dreamed of being homecoming queen, and now that her dream has come true, what's next on her wish list? Well, she would really like to meet her favorite music superstar, Taylor Swift. In fact, she has memorized all of Taylor's songs. So Taylor, if you're out there watching somewhere, I hope you'll get a chance to get the same joy from meeting Hannah Murphy that I did. David Carroll, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, David.
And who knows, could go viral.
That's right. Still to come on Eyewitness News at 6, meteorologist Nick Austin tells us about some weather that is coming this way that will include some rain tonight.
And cooler weather. And we have a traffic note for you. If you plan to drive on I-24 tonight, forecast coming up after the break and a traffic warning.
Later tonight, maybe even into the morning hours. If you're thinking of taking I-24, even 75, it would be good to make other plans.
A super load carrying manufacturing equipment will be traveling from Kentucky to Florida, and that means it'll have to go straight through our area. We're not sure the exact time. We've been told it'll hit the Tennessee line about 9 o'clock this evening. Not sure how long it will take it to get to our area, but just be aware of that. The Tennessee Highway Patrol will escort the truck carrying that super load. It'll block more than 2 lanes as it travels along. Top speed about 60 miles an hour. THP says this could create delays and backups, as you might imagine. The super load will take 24 to 75 through Georgia. So be warned, take an alternate route if you need to.
More than 100 new jobs are headed to the Tennessee Valley. Governor Bill Haslam, along with other state officials, announced that E&E Manufacturing of Tennessee will expand its facility in Athens. The company will invest $23.5 million plus those jobs into McMinn County. Now let's check on weather. Here's Nick Austin.
Thanks, Greg. Some more good news. There is some rain falling, even a little bit here in the city. Holiday Inn, live downtown Holiday Inn camera showing gray skies all across the area. But here is your high-resolution radar. We've had a few little areas of light rain and sprinkles moving right through the city. Okay, not a lot to write home about, but it's better than what we've seen, because the last time we had rain in Chattanooga was on September 26th. Since then, the radar has not shown a drop. And there's even more up to the north of us, moving through parts of the Cumberland Plateau, Walden's Ridge in Hamilton County, parts of the Sequatchie Valley and up near Pikeville. And there's more moving towards Mont Eagle and into northeast Alabama, where there are some heavier rain cells and maybe a few rumbles of thunder and some gustier winds back to the west. So as we move further and further into the evening, we'll see some more chances for showers. Not a lot of widespread rain, and it won't last all night. We're not going to see a drought busting rain here, not a major event with even a lot of storms, but at least we'll get some rain out of it. But any heavy rain cells that do develop, the heaviest stuff will be gone by midnight, reaching Murphy in northeast Georgia by around midnight. And then overnight, we're just looking for, again, maybe a few light showers to come back. And it'll get a little bit windier through the overnight hours. It'll get much cooler into tomorrow. You'll definitely need a jacket as you head out the door tomorrow. Take an umbrella with you as you head out tonight, because even those showers will be scattered and mostly hit and miss, not really necessarily widespread. Your area might get some rain tonight, so just keep that in mind as you make your plans. Into the weekend, things stay cool too, and we'll see lots of sunshine for Saturday and Sunday. It's 80 degrees in the city right now, but it's only 74 in Pikeville, low 70s in Altamont. So you can see where that cold front is starting to approach to the north and west. We have winds out of the west at about 7 miles an hour. New record high of 89, that beats the old record of 88 on this date back in 1941. It was really warm out there again, but not a drop of rain, at least nothing officially yet at the airport. So our rain deficit is about 16.5 inches almost. Tonight's rain for most areas of maybe a quarter to about a half an inch overall. Not going to be a lot of rain, maybe some isolated heavier amounts. Highs in the 80s from northeast Alabama all the way into Georgia. Fort Mountain a little cooler at 79, but that's a warm day even up there on the mountain. 88 Lakesite, 91 in Delano today, and also 91 in Ringgold. It was 87 in Spring City. Not a lot of rain reports yet, but Pikeville and Cagle Mountain have already picked up about 1/10 of an inch. 57 for the low tonight. A few showers off and on, could be heavy just for a little while early in the evening, and gustier winds through the overnight hours out of the northwest. Cool, breezy tomorrow, 67. We'll see some sun for the afternoon. And then really chilly tomorrow night, 43 for the low, but beautiful clear skies for all the Friday night football games. A great weekend ahead, lots of sunshine, 66 on Saturday, and then warming into the 70s for Sunday, but we'll have those nice cool and crisp lows in the 40s this weekend. So you can open up the windows and air out the house and turn off the air conditioning. It's going to be a beautiful, gorgeous weekend, but we have to get through a little bit of rain and some wind for tonight and tomorrow too.
Nick mentioned Friday night football. There's even some pigskin action going on in the drizzle tonight.
That's right.
Yes, there is, and Paul Shaheen has some previews for us coming up in sports.
Well, they don't lead the nation in third down defense, but Alabama is certainly near the top of that list. Proof enough was Tennessee last weekend. The Volunteers punted for 438 yards, nearly 3 times what they combined for on offense. Tennessee was 3 for 16 on third downs. Saban says the recipe is rather simple when done right.
There's got to be a combination of affecting the quarterback with the pressure, which I think that our guys have done a pretty good job of that, whether we 3-man rush, 4-man rush, or 5-man rush. I think you got to do a really good job of covering. I think third down is really important. I've said this before, especially when you play against these fastball teams, because when you get a chance to get off the field on third down, you got to take advantage of it, because the long drives are what get your players, and it's going to be critical in this game.
It sure will be. A key to the game as they line up against another fastball offense, as Saban calls it. It's number 6 Texas A&M and number 1 Alabama. Saturday, 3:30 on CBS. It's not Friday, but it sure feels like it. It's a Thursday full of prep football action, and do not forget you can watch one of those games on Antenna TV tonight. It's Red Bank at 14-time state champion Alcoa. The live broadcast starts in just over a half hour at 7 on Antenna TV. We will also stream it online and inside our app, and we'll have highlights for you tonight at 11. That's not the only game this Thursday. Bradley Central is in a 6A showdown with top-ranked Maryville at home. The Bears, though, remember, will be without UTC commit quarterback Cole Copeland, who dislocated his shoulder last week. He's out 3 to 6 weeks. We'll have highlights and hear from the team tonight at 11 with help from Eyewitness Sports reporter Jill Jelnick, who is in Bradley County. There's still plenty of action left, though, for Friday Night Football tomorrow. That includes our game of the week, where despite losing 11 varsity players and 3 quarterbacks to injury, Cleveland can still make the postseason, but not without a win over Ooltewah tomorrow night.
Last year, we were pretty much in the same position and was able to pull it out against Ooltewah and able to sneak into playoffs with a very young team. And obviously, with all of our injuries this year, for us to pull this out would be a huge just emotional lift for our kids, and they deserve that. You know, the kids have been through so much this year, so you know, I'm really just pulling for them, really.
And quickly looking ahead to next week, you can already vote for the game of the week. It's either Howard at Signal Mountain or Boyd Buchanan at Silverdale. Get on our Facebook page, vote. We'll have the winner announced at 11 on Tuesday. And quickly, congrats to Sequatchie County High School girls basketball star Ireland Burch. Burch won the statewide girls Wendy's Heisman vote. She's now on a national list of 50 winners. That list will be trimmed to 10. Those 10 will then travel to New York for the actual Heisman Trophy presentation. One of those 10 will be crowned a winner and earn a $1,000 scholarship for the Wendy's Heisman Scholarship Fund.
That's big time, huh?
It is. Tip of the hat to her.
Probably on her way to several scholarship offers.
I would say so, yeah.
All right. Now let's check in with Nick.
Yeah, quick look at the radar. It's about to get pretty rainy and stormy out towards Jasper and South Pittsburgh and over northeast Alabama right now. Some of that will be heading our way to Chattanooga and other parts of the viewing area through the course of the evening. So grab an umbrella. And then it'll just get a little windy and dry tomorrow, but 60s for highs tomorrow. That's a big difference, considering we hit almost 90 today. So you need to bundle up a little bit tomorrow.
Wow, huge difference. Thank you, Nick. You can almost hear the pavement cracking with that change in temperature.
You can certainly hear the leaves blowing across
Yes,
that pavement, can't you, down the street.
Well, have a good evening.
That's it for Eyewitness News at 6.